Green always seems to win and win with defense first. His club is currently playing a smothering, relentless, tenacious brand of D. And the Pistons are poised to make a long run in the playoffs. The Nuggets, embarrassed by Detroit 2 weeks ago, must do something most have found very difficult of late. Score, and do it more frequently than Detroit. Since 1988, the Palace of Auburn Hills, the home of the Detroit Pistons. They're on a roll. They've won 6 in a row. They come in at 44-25, and Andre Miller and Carmelo Anthony know how well Detroit's been playing. Detroit took care of Denver 2 weeks ago at Pepsi Center. The all-important playoff race in the Western Conference. The Nuggets continue to lead Portland and Utah by a game and a half. Portland is off tonight. Utah will take on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers at Gund Arena this evening. And good evening to one and all. With Bill Hanslick, I'm Drew Goodman. The Nuggets, like so many teams, have struggled of late to score points against the Detroit Pistons, and the Pistons are as good as it gets right now defensively.
They really are. They can bring it in a variety of ways, but they're tough, they're physical. That's Eastern Conference basketball.
Yeah, and the last time the Nuggets took on the Pistons 2 weeks ago, not one player scored in double figures. In fact, Carmelo Anthony, the Nuggets' leading scorer, just 3 of 17.
Well, he found out what real tough defense is. Melo went at the Pistons, didn't have much success early on, but he's the kind of guy, he's a competitor. He'll be ready to go tonight, and he'll go right back at him.
And speaking of ready to go, good news for the Nuggets. If you watch the last ball game in Boston, a 104-100 loss, Nene played 23 minutes, sprained his ankle in the third quarter. Guess what? He's fine. He can play tonight. He will be in the starting lineup. So that, of course, is very good news. Well, the Detroit Pistons were a good team before they acquired Rasheed Wallace in a three-way deal with the Atlanta Hawks. He's now played 13 games in a Detroit uniform. They're 10-3. They're actually 10-2 when he starts. And it's not just the offense that he brings, it's the defense.
He really did. I think originally they thought they needed more interior scoring, take some pressure off their backcourt. He's brought them interior scoring, but even more so, he's made their defense even better. He's a quick big man that can block shots, rotates well, and he's made them even tougher defensively.
Well, Bill, they're absolutely wigging out over the Detroit Pistons. There'll be more than 22,000 in the house. They're trying to set some sort of Guinness Book of World Records. Even Corliss Williamson getting in on the act. Speaking of wigs, you know, I don't have as much hair as I used to. I think I got to get one of those. Mark Soysher in Denver. You don't need a wig.
You're going to go with the red, white, and blue or the black wig, Drew?
Red, white, and blue. I'm very patriotic.
I thought you were. Well, they may not want to, but we are going to ask the Nuggets to remember that night, that hideous night 2 weeks ago. Plenty of motivation. We'll talk about it when we come back. Filling up the Palace of Auburn Hills like they usually do to see their Pistons play. Tonight it's the Pistons and the Nuggets. Welcome back to our Fox studios. I'm Mark Soysher, and we'll have the Pistons and the Nuggets momentarily. It'll be the only time this season that the Nuggets make the trip into Detroit to take on the Pistons. Pistons only made one Detroit out to Denver this season, and that night marked a Rocky Mountain low for the Nuggets. They got beaten in their own place by 31 points. You would think that a payback would be in order. The Nuggets would like to think so.
I know I'm definitely looking forward to playing Detroit again after they embarrassed us last week. So that's going to be like a payback type of game, motivation type game, and I think we're going to be prepared for it. And everybody, says Detroit is a team that can come out of the East, and and they're a great team. They have great players, great depth, and they're well coached. So but I still feel we're a better team, and we're also well coached. So they got on us last week here, but it's only one game. You have games like that.
97-66 last time. The Pistons passed on an opportunity to draft Carmelo Anthony. He could have played with Chauncey, could have played with Rasheed Wallace. Tonight, he goes against them.
Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your Rocky Mountain Ford stores. No boundaries. By Gatorade X Factor. The X Factor is always part of the game. Is it part of you? Gatorade X Factor. Is it in you? By Pizza Hut. The best pizzas under one roof. By Volvo. Volvo for life. And by Rocky Mountain Cold Course Light. Cold down easy. The Palace of Auburn Hills, the home of the Pistons, and the Pistons played last night. They beat the New Jersey Nets at East Rutherford 89-71. The Nuggets come in 36 and 33. Our Lexus starting lineup. First for the Nuggets, Andre Miller and Vashawn Leonard. Leonard, a Detroit native, a star at Southwestern High School in Motown. Marcus Camby in the middle, Nene, and Carmelo Anthony at the other forward. Jeff Bzdelik, 13 and 21 this year on the road. Last year, the Nuggets came to Detroit and they scored a whopping 53 points. Last week, for a team that averages just under 100, they scored 66 against the Pistons. Something's got to give tonight for Denver to be successful. Here's the Pistons as they're being introduced to the sellout crowd in the background. Chauncey Billups from GW High School in Denver. Rip Hamilton, as he likes to be called, is the two guard. He didn't play 2 weeks ago. He had a broken nose. Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, and the former Kentucky star Tayshaun Prince. For a guy that coached in Denver and everywhere else, the great Larry Brown, who will lead the United States to Athens in the Summer Games of 2004, exactly 40 years after he played in the Olympics in 1964 as a member of the United States team. Let's take a look at our KeyBank keys to the game. Bill, what have you drawn up tonight?
Well, first off, no bad quarters. The last two road losses, both at Boston and New Jersey, the Nuggets won 3 of the 4 quarters. It's the one quarter that kills them. You've got to play better defense when things are going bad. Easy offense. The Nuggets need to get some easy points. Fast break points, they've got to run that. They've got to get some second chance points. Last but not least, find a hot hand. They got to get some point production from an unexpected. When the Nuggets get 2 to 20, they're pretty doggone good, and hopefully they can do that tonight.
Well, we talked about it in the open a little bit. Carmelo struggled from the floor, 3 of 17. You know, I thought it was one of those nights. Give Detroit credit naturally. But Carmelo had some looks right around the basket that did not drop for him, which ordinarily would. And I think that obviously contributed to the low point total.
Yeah, and Carmelo's competitiveness will come out tonight. He's ready to go. He's excited about being here in Detroit, and I think he wants to make a little statement. So look for Melo to be active early.
Do you know what? This is a guy that is always motivated to play, and if he finds a little something extra to get him going, all the better. As you look at Rasheed Wallace, and congratulations to Rasheed, he and his wife celebrating the birth of their 4th child, a little baby girl, a few days ago.
And we talked about it in the beginning in our open about what an addition that is for this franchise. That puts them really on the roadmap to not only win in the Eastern Conference, but potentially putting together to have a team that could win it all, and they are extremely good.
You know what? They're not only good, they're professional. They bring it every night, and they bring it on the defensive end in particular every night. Violet Palmer, Steve Javie, Anthony Jordan will have the whistles tonight. We're ready to go. An 8 o'clock local start time. That's when they begin the games on Friday night here in Motown. This is their 12th consecutive sellout at the Palace of Auburn Hills. They lead the league in attendance. This is the largest basketball arena currently in the NBA, now that the Spurs don't play at the cavernous Alamo Dome any longer. Tayshaun Prince gives it up. Here's Billups. His first look of the night from 17 goes down.
Well, Chauncey freed up at the three-point line. They spread it well. Little pump fake got Andre off his feet, and easy shot to start the game with. Nuggets are going to have to move the ball well tonight.
Hamilton up on Vashawn Leonard. Fadeaway jumper is good. Vashawn Leonard with that step-away J. That's how he started in Boston. He helped give the Nuggets a 9-0 lead in Boston.
Well, he shot it extremely well early, and again, he'll have a physical sort of mismatch against Rip Hamilton. Rip is a little quicker, but Bo has a lot of strength.
Now, that's what Hamilton does so well. He's got a great first step. He is 6'7" and he weighs like 18 pounds.
Yeah, he can go to the hoop hard. Nuggets weak side defense needs to improve.
Here's Nene against Ben Wallace, and he got inside and then got the offensive rebound. Tell you what, he made a nice move against the two-time defending Defensive Player of the Year, Ben Wallace.
One of the things, you see it right there, what makes Detroit tough is they don't double often. Pick and rolls, they'll jump out and double team, make you get rid of it. But down in the post, they'll play you head up, and that makes it really tough. You're going to have to take it to the hoop hard and try to draw some fouls.
10 to shoot it. Carmelo Anthony's first look. And he's a little bit long with the jumper. Rip Hamilton, flat-footed, gets the rebound.
Nuggets need to crank up their own fast break game. That time Detroit really hustled up the court.
Hamilton with 4 points, and it's 6-2 Detroit. Here's Nene running the floor, and you know what? That's a turnover, but I like it. They ran after a made basket.
They really do. They have to make a conscious effort when Detroit scores to push it back. Otherwise, Detroit's just going to go at you hard on the boards. You got to get them thinking to get back on defense.
And Hamilton once again using his quickness. He's got 6 of 8.
Well, he's going at it hard already, and now's the time that you got to get physical with Rip. You can't just let him operate. You may have to take a foul, but you've got to be physical. This time 2 or 3 times now he's been able to get in the painted area. When you get in the painted area, good things happen for your team. Got Bo up in the air, and in weak side D a little late there to help.
You know, you look at his body type, Richard Hamilton, you say he's probably not going to drive much. That's what he does a lot of. Here's Nene taking his time inside. He gets it back and flips it in.
Good job by Nene. And again, you see how the Wallace and Wallace factor worked well together. Nene had to get 2 or 3 pump fakes, getting them in the air, but good help defense by Detroit.
I'll tell you something else, Bill, I like early. You never know how a guy's going to respond who's never sprained his ankle. I know that's hard to believe. A basketball player like Nene had never sprained his ankle before, but he obviously doesn't seem to be affected by it. He's been very aggressive early.
He has. Nuggets with an opportunity if they push.
There's Rasheed getting back on defense. And Nene from Andre Miller. That's easy offense.
That's the easies we're talking about. Good push off a missed shot. Nuggets created a little 3-on-3 opportunity, and Andre did a nice job delivering to Nene.
Here's Rasheed, a good post-up player. Nuggets double him, and a hold on Nene.
Well, Nene, coming off a strong effort in Boston, is going at it hard again tonight. Just working the glass. And then last time down again, got a nice easy one because he ran the court. Big Melo and Marcus can have an opportunity to get some of those same hoops also by running hard.
Three to shoot it. Wallace. Boy, that's impossible to stop.
Well, that's good D, and that's a shot you can accept defensively. Nuggets really made him take a tough shot, but he knocked it down. And if you keep running hard, those shots will begin to miss.
Around the corner on the reverse side, Carmelo gets it back and lays it in. Pretty move by Carmelo Anthony, and a great job of staying with it for his first bucket. 10-8 Detroit, 4 minutes in.
And the Nuggets need to go to work on the defensive end. They cannot give up easy shots.
And they almost come up with a turnover. 8 to shoot it, Ben Wallace. Now Billups an open 3. And that touched the shot clock. Denver will get the basketball. There's a move again by Carmelo Anthony.
Well, he did it last game, able to get the hoop. This time Wallace affects it, but Melo right back up, stays with it. Nice little touch tip in.
You know, he follows his own miss around the basket as good as anybody in the league. Here's Carmelo exploding to the hoop. That's exactly what happened last ball game. He'd get all the way to the glass and wasn't able to finish.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, it's just Melo just not get foul calls when they should be there. That's body contact by Wallace, but he's so strong. He's like a brick wall in there. Knocked him off his shot, no call, and Melo just Said, I'll take it next time. You know, I think, Drew, again, next year when Melo earns a little more respect, you will see more foul shots in the games. He'll have some big night.
Chauncey rolled his ankle. There's Ben Wallace inside, and the Nuggets will take that shot all night long. Here's Leonard. He didn't see Hamilton coming, and he got the easy poke from behind. Now it's a 3-on-1, and Camby made sure Prince wasn't going to dunk it.
That's a good foul there, but again, just unfortunate for the Nuggets. You just can't afford these type turnovers, but good hustle by Rip Hamilton. They tack back, but Marcus did a nice job of taking away that dunk opportunity. Went right up with Tayshaun Prince, and that sends a little message. It says, hey, you can't come in here with anything weak.
Tayshaun cooperates by missing the first 23rd pick in the draft last year out of Kentucky, and he misses both. So good foul.
And the Pistons coming off a real tough, important game from them last night against the Nets. So there is an advantage from that opportunity that Pistons could be a little emotionally, physically tired and take advantage of it.
It was an emotional game for them because they wanted to send a message to New Jersey, who had beaten them 2 of the first 3 times this year, that they could play with them. And they were up 19 at halftime. They withstood a late run and ended up winning going away. A strange finish to that ball game. Very strange, particularly for a good team like New Jersey. They called timeout with 13 seconds left when Detroit had the basketball and the game was over. They were down 87 to 69 at the point, and they called timeout and they fouled Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace goes and hits both free throws. They did it so they could get the ball back. They missed a jumper, but Aaron Williams tipped it in with a second to go. So they got above 70 points, and they stopped Detroit's streak of 5 in a row of teams not scoring 70 points against them, which is an NBA record by 3 games. And Aaron Williams started celebrating like they won the NBA championship.
Well, if you're trying to get into Detroit's head that way, that's pretty weak. Detroit will take a win anytime.
Larry Brown was asked in his press conference before tonight's game to comment on it. He said, I'm not getting into that at all. Larry, a little too classy to involve himself with that. Rasheed Wallace again with a turnaround jumper.
Andre wants to push this ball. He can't get in the walk mode. Miss or make. Push that ball.
Here's Leonard. And the rebound in an A. He's had 3 or 4 offensive rebounds already. Carmelo looking at a 3. Drops it in. Now they're going to say he was inside the arc. 6 points for Anthony.
Nice offensive rebound. Again, you get some easies if you offensive rebound. Larry Brown not liking the offensive rebounds already, and they doing a nice job. Melo buries that jumper.
Nuggets have out-rebounded Detroit 8-2 in the early going. And they have a 13-12 lead at the 5:50 mark. 13-12, Denver leading with Bill Hanslick. I'm Drew Goodman. We're at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Time to check our Gatorade X Factor. And Bill, you believe, and I think rightfully so, the Nuggets have to get offense from another source, an additional source tonight other than Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that source could be any one of those guys. Look for Nene. He's had a good start already with 5. But this Detroit team is so good defensively, you've got to find a guy that can get you some numbers. Detroit already to their bench with Corliss Williamson in, and they've added a little more physical toughness.
Corliss Williamson has won a 6th-man award in his career, and he'll be one of the top candidates again this year. Phillips wanted to go to Rip Hamilton, but Sean Leonard wouldn't allow the pass. And Williamson in deep gets the kind roll over Carmelo Anthony.
Melo's got to work a little harder, guys. Get it in that deep. That shot's just too easy. He's got a little size on, height on Williamson, but Williamson just a bulldozing power forward. Good look by Andre, unfortunately missed.
Well, Corliss has the weight advantage. Corliss is a big, strong man. He's listed at 6'7". He's probably closer to 6'6". Ben Wallace off, and the rebound of Marcus Camby.
Little intimidation factor by Marcus. Wallace not able to go up and over. Marcus just too long.
Bo gives it up. Open man, Carmelo double clutches on the jumper. And Ben Wallace goes and gets the rebound. Phillips leading a 3-on-3. And the Red Sea parted after the hesitation dribble, and Phillips has his second basket.
Well, again, you see Detroit doing a nice job pushing the basketball, create an opportunity. The Nuggets have to do that tonight. Bar nothing else, they've got to run the ball up the court. So far, they have played fairly well, but not taking advantage of some opportunities. Rebounds like that, you've got to go. Push it hard. It can't be a comfort zone.
Well, you play right into Detroit's hands if you do that. They are tremendous in the half court. One shot now as Carmelo misses and Phillips gets fouled. It's Detroit looking to run.
Melo can't get impatient with shot opportunities. Move that ball, move some body, especially with Williamson. He's a slow power forward. Try to move him without the ball.
Larry Brown going to his bench. Lindsey Hunter, Mehmet Okur.
Well, you see Chauncey Billups just pushing the ball. A little hesitation. Dribble freezes Marcus, who had to make a choice to go for Chauncey or Rip Hamilton. Chose Rip, and Chauncey to the hoop for an easy layup.
Lindsey Hunter, 11 years out of Jackson State. Former #1 pick, 10th overall by Detroit back in 1993. Here's Williamson, and he'll lay it in. 5-point lead for Detroit.
And again, that's been some of the Nuggets' problems. Just defensively, break it down. Weak side D has got to open up and see what is going on. That's just too easy.
18-13 Detroit. They're on a little 6-0 run. We'll step aside from the Palace of Auburn Hills. 18-13, Detroit leading Denver with 3:42 remaining in the first quarter. There are wigs everywhere. The first 5,000, in fact, in the house tonight. Under 14 got wigs. Fox Sports Net Across America is the new weekly magazine show that reveals sports' most dramatic stories. This week, new Astros aces Andy Pettit and Roger Clemens discuss leaving New York to return home. Plus, how religion gives Kurt Warner the strength to continue. It's Fox Sports Net Across America. It airs Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net.
Well, Drew, one of your old favorites, Bob Seger, in the house tonight. Got a big hand.
Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. He's got the Michael Jackson thing going with a glove on.
Well, he's a Motown favorite.
Update on the Utah-Cleveland game. Look at this. Utah winning by 10 in Cleveland right now. Cleveland's been as good as anybody in the second half. Nuggets have their 5 starters out on the floor. Detroit with 3 substitutes in there, 1 on the shot clock. That's why you saw Deshaun Leonard just throw one up. That's not the kind of effort you want coming out of a timeout. You could tell just looking at Jeff Bzdelik's face how displeased he was.
Yeah, and I think Jeff will go to the bench here in a second. But again, you see how tough it is in the half court. You've got to push the basketball tonight of all nights to try to create some opportunities. Detroit gets their defense set. They are really good.
Ben Wallace, I don't know if he intended to use glass, but it works. 20-13. Nuggets had the good start, and they've hit a drought.
You just see Detroit just picking it up. The Nuggets got to get physical. They've got to go.
You got to do that, too. If they're going to overplay on the perimeter, backdoor cut as Deshaun Leonard did.
And watch how quick Detroit, not a fast break team, already with the ball in the front court.
There's Wallace. And Ben Wallace, who takes more shots this year than at any point in his career, with his second bucket in a row.
Well, one of the things that have hurt the Nuggets really a lot is just their defensive presence. And again, Detroit shooting 60-something% already in the game. That's just too good.
Here's Camby on a drive, and Marcus's shot rolls out. Richard Hamilton, the former UConn star, he won a national championship at Storrs, Connecticut. Knocked away by Nene. He's got to beat Okur.
That should be a breakaway.
That should be a clear path foul. Steve Javi's right in front. Let's see.
No, they're going to say it's on the side.
Wow, come on, Steve. That's a clear path foul. And they head of. Well, Nuggets a little unfortunate on that, but that should be a clear path foul. Which one? Maybe you'll catch when the whistle is called here. Let's see if we get. And then they. I'm sure you couldn't really see the official when the arm went up.
Rasheed Wallace out on the net. The handoff to Carmelo. And Carmelo, nice shake, and he drops in a beautiful jumper over Corliss Williamson.
And that's playing to your strength a little bit. Williamson doesn't want to play Melo on the outside. Melo, with that pretty crossover dribble, just shakes him with his quickness.
Carmelo with 8. That's what he finished with in the first game against Detroit. 6 Nuggets had 8. Nobody had more than that. Weak side board to Miller. Go.
Andre's got to turn those Jets on, create some opportunities.
Andre looking for a foul call. Hamilton will have a run out. 24-17 Detroit.
And again, the little turnover hurts. Nuggets down 7 here in the first quarter. And Detroit with just such good half-court defense.
Carmelo around the turn. Take that.
I don't know. This is great. I don't know what Melo needs to get a foul, but maybe it's time for Kiki to send some film to the league, but that's ridiculous. Again, hit down low with the body, no call.
Williamson and Corliss Williamson with 6 points off the bench for Larry Brown's club. 26-19 Pistons. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. And Carmelo elevates again and drops another jumper in. He's got a dozen as the crowd oohs and ahs here at the Palace.
Yeah, that's what you love about Melo. He just said, put it on my back. Get it to me where I can score, and I'll put it down. And Melo's starting to crank it up. Nuggets just have to get going defensively.
And the foul. Vashawn Leonard committed the foul. Nuggets had one to give. Carmelo, the number 3 pick in the draft. Of course, many in this area would have liked, hindsight being 2020, the Pistons with the 2nd selection not to have chosen Darko Milicic and taken Carmelo Anthony.
No, Detroit went small, so Jeff Bzdelik's going to go small. The matchup here.
6.6 seconds left. Nuggets trail by 5. Anthony's on Hamilton. And that's way too easy.
Again, Nuggets weak side D, nowhere to be found on that. Take away the easy shots, make them shoot on the outside. Too many points in the paint, but Carmelo Anthony is on fire.
12 points for Carmelo, but the Nuggets trailed Detroit by 7 after a fast start. 1 quarter complete at the Palace of Auburn Hills. You're watching Fox Sports Net, your home for Nuggets basketball all season long. Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by First Bank, the Colorado bank for you. By your Colorado Chevy dealers who invite you to test drive the new Chevy cars and trucks. And by Gatorade X Factor. The X Factor is always part of the game. Is it part of you? Gatorade X Factor, is it in you? Well, they may have a disagreement later on tonight. He's got the Corliss Williamson jersey. He's got the John Barry jersey. Of course, JB played in Detroit last couple of years. Really lit it up from 3-point range 2 seasons ago. John's battled a shoulder injury most of this year. In fact, had surgery earlier. Michael Doliak is in with Andre Miller-Nene, Carmelo Anthony, and Earl Boykins to begin the 2nd quarter for Denver. Carmelo has scored the last 6 for Denver, but they're down 7. He stabs at Williamson and bangs another jumper.
Now Nuggets getting Melo the ball in some premium positions, and Melo's got that jumper going. Now again, defensively, Nuggets just very poor in the first quarter. Got to crank it up.
Mike James out there with Lindsey Hunter in the Detroit backcourt. Rasheed Wallace, Corliss Williamson, and Mehmet Okur. Tough break for Denver. They had the rebound.
Well, that's a fast break opportunity, but again, Lindsey Hunter able to get to the hoop, and the Pistons with 67% shooting in the first quarter.
And Rasheed from Corliss Williamson. And you know what? This is something the Nuggets had not allowed for the most part the last week and a half, and that is easy buckets in the paint.
Well, the Nuggets need to attack in the situations that they have an advantage.
5 to get one off. Good look for Michael Doliak. Nice feed from Earl Boykins.
And one of the ways you break a defense down is take the ball from one side of the court to the other. Able to break the Pistons D down. Earl Boykins penetrates, finds Michael Doliak wide open on the interior.
And that one's broken up. Here's Anthony running with Boykins. Earl. And that was read by Mike James. Nuggets had the 2-on-1.
Nuggets finally get a turnover opportunity. And
here's Lindsey Hunter, good three-point shooter. And Nene rips away the rebound. Denver a chance to get it to 3, maybe 2 here. They've been down by 7 on several occasions. And Earl is fouled.
Nuggets starting to get into that interior of that Pistons defense, and Earl penetrating that time created a easy foul.
Well, Rodney White's going to come in for Denver. And Andre Miller is coming out.
Andre going to get a little blow. And I kind of like this. I like to see what Rodney can do at that 2-guard position. At least it creates a little mismatch opportunity. Maybe the Nuggets can take advantage of that.
And Bill, I like when Rodney plays with Carmelo. They have nice chemistry together. Here's a step-away jumper, and it's a little bit short for White.
And then Rodney, just like last game, just be patient, Rodney. Take your time and back them down in there. Use your height. If you shoot jumpers, you're not taking advantage of those situations.
3 out of the corner doesn't go. And a loose ball foul. They're calling it against Denver. And they're calling it on the net.
And they and Wallace really going at it underneath. And so far the Nuggets have gotten the short end of the call that time. And they and Wallace tangled up. And he's doing a good job of blocking off. And they're really battling hard. And Rodney White went after that rebound, had it.
They clutched onto Wallace's arm. That was the call. Here's Okur. He's got some range. Second-year player from Turkey they like a lot. His minutes have diminished a little bit with Rasheed Wallace coming on board.
As Steve Javi's
not watching the game. He's yelling at the Nugget bench. He has not turned to watch the action. That was interesting. Now he gets down in position. He was yelling at somebody on the Nugget bench. Boykins off to Doliak. Here's a 3 from White. And that's a shot clock violation.
The Nuggets bobbled a couple opportunities there, but still pretty good ball movement. Got a decent shot. Steve Javi just needs to pay attention to the game and not worry about the Nugget bench. It was his call that they got whacked hard across the arm.
But the game's always been about the players, and Steve Javi is a very good official. The one part of Steve Javi's makeup that I've found problematic, and others obviously more important than myself, guys who coach, has been that Steve will engage you sometimes instead of walking away.
Yeah,
and it's a very emotional game. And I think all good officials, and Steve is a good official.
He is a good official.
Have to realize that. Here's Rasheed Wallace from the free throw line.
Well, Rasheed's been on a roll ever since he's gotten here, and he's got that jumper going tonight.
32-25. Rasheed has 10. Andre Miller looking for a call. Doesn't get it. Here's Tayshaun Prince to lay it in.
Just another opportunity. Steve Javi saying Nene ran into him. Well, he ran into him because Rasheed Wallace shoved him. Nuggets have to keep their composure. Here's Boykins for 3.
And Okur goes up top for the rebound, the 7-footer.
See if you
here's Okur. And Boykins comes out of the pack with it. Nuggets have numbers. Here's a pull-up from Earl. And that ends a little run.
That's what Earl's good at. Sprint that ball up, stop on a dime, pop that Jimmy jumper right there at the foul line.
And a timeout from Detroit. They lead 34-27. 7:41 to go. We're in the first half. Denver on the road at Detroit. 34-27. The Pistons leading by 7. Almost halfway home in the second quarter. The Pistons have won 6 consecutive games. They're 23-10 at home. Their next ball game will be at Gundarina in Cleveland on Sunday. Hey, a reminder coming up after the game, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, of course. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to our region. The truth on Carmelo. The whole league's learning the truth on Carmelo. And check your brackets. How you doing? And Fox Focus on the great bump skier and pretty good football player for the University of Colorado, Jeremy Bloom, out of Loveland, Colorado. Here's Rashid. And Tayshaun Prince allowed to get the rebound. And then it's ripped away from behind by Rodney White.
Good hustle by Rodney White.
And the jumper doesn't go for Boykins. Camby has the rebound, knocked out of bounds off of Detroit.
Like the energy on that fast break there, but what hustle by Rodney White pulling in that defensive rebound. And that's one of the areas the coaching staff want him to improve in, and he's got a couple already tonight.
Well, he should be a pretty strong rebounder. He's 6'9", he's 230 pounds. He'd get off the floor. Andre drives, and it rolled out. Nice job drawing contact by Miller. Violet Palmer has the call. And it's on Chauncey Billups. That'll be number 1 on Billups.
And the Nuggets just want to keep within striking range in this game. Nice job by Andre. Penetrating hard in the middle. Andre with 15 points, 6 assists, and almost 2 steals a game. What a year he's had, and what a great addition to this Nuggets lineup. He'll be a fixture for a long time to come and solidifying that point guard position.
Yeah, there's no question. Andre Miller's had a gorgeous year. We talked quite a bit about it in the first half. We thought he should have been an all-star. Here's Rashid. Rasheed Wallace has been terrific so far in this game for Detroit. He's got 12 points on 6 of 7 shooting. Miller gets inside.
Andre struggling with that normally reliable jumper in that painted area. And a good look. Not able to get it to go down.
Here's Mike James. He came over from Boston in the Chucky Atkins deal. Okur outside, stabbed by Rodney White, leading a 3-on-3. Crossover, and then Rodney kicks it out of bounds.
Right idea to push it, but if you get in that traffic, you need to kick that ball out, Rodney. Gotta get it to your point guard. Nuggets again hurt by turnovers. 9 already in this game, and
just 2 for Detroit.
Take away a few of those, the Nuggets would have had a few more easy opportunities. The score would be a little tighter.
And you got to value every possession against a team like Detroit. 9 turnovers at this stage of the game is a bunch.
And the energy levels really picked up defensively.
Here's White for 3, and Rodney cans a triple. That was big. Now they say it's a 2. First hoop for White. Here comes the screen and roll. Camby shows on one side. And then they go weak side. Hamilton for 3. That's just his 10th three-pointer of the year.
And Rip Hamilton, not known as a three-point shooter, knocks that one down.
He's got 11. Inside 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the soft pass taken away by Okur. And then Okur allowed to get his own miss and lays it in.
Earl's got to be a little sharper with his passes. That one's got to zip in there. Soft passes, defensive guys will run around you and create opportunities.
10 to shoot it for Denver, down by 10. This is their largest deficit. Boykins shakes James. He'll go glass. Second hoop for Earl Boykins. It's an 8-point affair.
I think it's starting to find their energy level. Moving the ball much better on the offensive end.
And that's a foul on Camby. Timeout coming. Rasheed Wallace will have free throws when we return. 4:35 left, second quarter. 41-33. Detroit leading Denver. Well, we don't know if they're family or not, but they're obviously on opposite sides of this one. 41-33, Detroit leading by 8. Hey, tonight's contestant for the makeover points in the paint promotion is Michelle Hall from Parker. If Denver can outscore Detroit tonight in the paint, then Michelle will be registered to win a free makeover. Visit participating makeover locations to enter to win. As we look at the back of Darvin Ham, wow. 26-12 already Detroit. You know, when they met 2 weeks ago, Detroit, Bill, outscored Denver 60-18 in the paint. We talked about this in the Boston game. When the Nuggets are playing good D, they're contesting passes into the paint, and they're contesting drives and making sure guys on the perimeter stay on the perimeter. That has not happened so far in the first half, and that graphic really illustrates it.
Well, when teams get inside points, it just buries your defense. And last time Detroit buried Denver with that points in the paint.
And the 40-5 run, that was remarkable in the second and third quarter. Here's Wallace at the line, and he misses the front end. Rasheed averaging 16.5 a game this year with the Pistons. He's averaging 14.5. You know, he's one of 5 players all time to score more than 20 points in a single game for 3 different teams in the same season. He played 1 game with the Atlanta Hawks this year after he was traded from Portland, and he scored 20 for them. And of course, since coming to Detroit, he has scored more than 20 in a game.
Again, you see the Pistons pick up the Nuggets. Nuggets just in their offense with 14 on the clock.
And that's a travel.
Now again, that's just another turnover from the Nuggets. Melo's got to go ahead and shoot that ball. That's a pretty good shot in there. And he was worried about Prince blocking it, but when you're caught up, you got to go with it.
You want to appreciate defense. Watch Detroit. Every shot that Denver takes, at the minimum, there's a hand in the face. And they contest every pass. Here's Okur cutting the basket. Detroit putting on a clinic right now.
And the Nuggets just getting beat backside, but again, no weak side help. You have to, if you're on the weak side, you've got to see some of those plays. Watch Detroit's weak side deep. The Nuggets cut backside. There'll be some help there.
And Andre Miller connects. That's his first field goal. He missed his first 3 attempts. It's a 9-point game with 3:40 to play in the first half. So you know what? The Nuggets have not played well in the second quarter. They're down 9. If you can make a little bit of a run, this will help here. Leonard will make it a 7-point game. You go to the locker room very competitive on the scoreboard, knowing that you haven't played well.
Really? Well, the Nuggets have shot the ball fairly well, going by Detroit standards. Just a few too many turnovers, and that's why they're down 7.
Hamilton to Okur, and he's tied up. And Camby ties him up, and then it's out of bounds off of Okur.
They got a technical foul, so the Nuggets will earn a free one here.
Good Jordan making the call underneath.
There's good weak side D. There's the rotation. Marcus Camby over there. Melo gets his hand on the ball. Okur just goes out of bounds with it. It's a good call. And he'll throw punch the ball, and he'll earn a technical foul. Ouch. That's how you describe that one. And the Nuggets, you know, it's been funny. It's just one of those things where they
missed a lot of
technical foul free throws.
I knew what you were thinking. I wasn't going to verbalize it, but I knew what you were thinking. They have missed a lot of technicals. 44-37 is the score. 3 minutes to go. Andre on the switch. Hamilton's on him. Here comes Miller. And it is blocked by Hamilton. Here's a 3-on-1. Carmelo, the only one back, and Billups lays it in. He's got 6. And a chance to cut it to 5. Instead, it's a 9-point game.
Get the ball up court. You can't set your offense with 15 on the clock.
The shot down the lane. Finger roll is good. 8 points for Leonard.
Oh, just blew right by Rip Hamilton. Rip with that broken nose, still wearing that mask, and those things are difficult to play with.
And he's playing all right with it. He's got 11 points. And a good pass to Okur. A lot of body contact. Fortunately for Denver, no whistle. Here's Anthony. Carmelo in deep. Carmelo up and in at the other end. Now you have a 5-point game. 46-41, 16 in the first half for Carmelo Anthony.
And just love the speed with which Carmelo took off with that ball. That created the opportunity. Able to attack Tayshaun's Prince.
Nuggets are shooting a good percentage. They're at 51%. The turnovers have really hurt them. Tayshaun Prince with a long 2.
Had a way to run by Nene. Good look ahead.
48-41. The Pistons leading by 7. At one end, Billups. At the other end, Carmelo Anthony. 1:33 to go before halftime. They're wigging out at the Palace for another Pistons win. They're trying to set the Guinness Book of World Record for most people in one venue with a wig on. I think they're going to do it. Well, the last time the Nuggets won here, 1995. Joe Dumars and Grant Hill were the stars for the Pistons, but Jalen Rose, the Detroit native, had 20 that night. Gets a feed from Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. And the Nuggets would win the basketball game. And Joe Dumars has ascended from greatness on the court to greatness in the front office. He's the president of the Detroit Pistons. He's sitting with John Hammond, who's the vice president of basketball operations, former assistant coach in the league. They're the brain trust for Detroit. You know, Joe Dumars, so popular on the floor, and he has really done a nice job running the Pistons. Their attendance is up 42%, Bill, over the last 3 years.
Well, doing a great job. And speaking of great job, that was a superb defensive effort that time. Bo Leonard denying Rip Hamilton. Nene working Wallace down in the post, and Wallace shuffled his feet. Nuggets caused a turnover.
Well, 1:05 to go for the Palace of Auburn Hills. We're in the first half. Nuggets trying to close fast. They're down 7. Carmelo stumbled, falls out of bounds.
The Nuggets just give it right back. Melo's got that hungry look, but he wanted to set that ball up. Got to set your feet there first there, big fella.
I'll tell you what, 13 turnovers in one half is a bunch, particularly on the road. And Detroit has scored 14 points off those 13 turnovers. By contrast, the Pistons have turned it over only 5 times. Here's Williamson. And Corliss Williamson with 8. See if the Nuggets can get 2 for 1. And Leonard nearly lost it. Now he's tied up in the corner, and he has to call timeout. They trap. Talking about the Pistons as well as any team I've seen this year.
They really do, but they don't trap initially. It's not like they start off in a trap defense. As soon as they catch you at a disadvantage, they're going to smother you. And that's a prime example right there. Vo got caught down on the baseline, and Wallace came over. Rip Hamilton, they had him. And when you have the baseline and the sideline and 2 guys on you, there's not much you can do other than call a timeout.
Hey, Bill, when you feel like you need to get out and howl at the moon, which I've seen you do frequently with the boys, come down to Pepsi Center for Coors Guys Night Out. The Nuggets take on the Wolves on March 24th. And for just $39, you and your buddy get 2 tickets, 2 Coors, 2 Guys Night Out t-shirts. Call 303-405-1111 or visit Ticketmaster.com. Well, Rasheed Wallace, they're 10-3 with Rasheed Wallace, but maybe more impressively, or more impressive than that, the reason that they're 10-3 is their points allowed per game have gone from 85 without Rasheed to 75 with Rasheed. That's remarkable. You're talking about a 10-point swing defensively. 2 to shoot it. I don't think Carmelo realizes it. Now he does. And another air ball. That's the 3rd time the Nuggets have had a shot clock violation in the first half.
Now, and again, Detroit will suck you into that. You need to attack right away and move the ball. But
it's the 2nd time, Bill, it's happened out of a timeout.
Again, the Nate needs to suck back here. 1.7 on the clock. No passes into the middle. Well, now they're up to 17.3. It changed a little.
Well, here comes Billups with the Pistons up 9. And a foul from behind on Rashawn Leonard. And the Nuggets had one to give. It's 2 on Leonard.
And look for Detroit to go again. High screen roll with Wallace and Billups. And they need to do a better job than they did last time handling that. It could be.
And that's goaltending. 13 for Hamilton, and the Nuggets are down 11. Out of bounds.
Well, Detroit's going to get another opportunity, another turnover for the Nuggets. Nice try to throw over top, not able to get it.
2.3 seconds left. Here's Carmelo. Now, the crowd was reacting because he made the hoop, but he evidently had a boot out of bounds right before that.
You know, those are the little things. Again, with experience, some of the problems the Nuggets have had in this first half, you've seen Detroit, the experienced team, take advantage of some situations, causing turnovers, and the Nuggets competing hard, but because of inexperience, wow. And again, Violet Palmer not in the best position to make that call. I'm not so sure he stepped out there. She was not on that line where she should have been.
Here we go. Nuggets have to get a stop here with 2.3. Wallace. Oh no, Williams is going to get a great look. Watch the guy who inbounds in that situation. Well, Detroit, with a late run, has their largest lead of the ball game, and it comes at the break. 52-41. The Pistons by 11. You're watching Fox Sports Net, your home for Nuggets basketball all season long. Let's get it west to Mark Soysher. Mark?
Well, we're looking ahead to the Chevy halftime report, Drew. The Nuggets hanging around within 11, and it's the time of the season where you do a little scoreboard watching. The Nuggets concerned about what's going on in Cleveland. That's where Utah is. We'll show you when we come back.
The Detroit Pistons leading the NBA in attendance. They're playing in front of their 12th consecutive sellout tonight, and they lead Denver 52-41 at the break. Bill Hanslick was able to catch up with T.R. Dunn a couple of moments ago.
TR, you guys got some things going offensively in the first half, but the turnovers really hurt. Do anything to correct those for the second half?
Well, we just have to be a little bit more cautious with the basketball. This is a very good defensive team. They're very aggressive. You know, they help very well. So, you know, we just got to be cautious and good spacing and try to execute our sets.
Well, we'll look forward to a good second half. Back to you, Drew.
All right, Bill, thank you. The Nuggets being led individually by Carmelo Anthony, 16. The next highest scorer, Vashawn Leonard, has 8. And Carmelo 8 of 14 from the floor. And you know what? He would have had 19 because it looked like his sneaker was actually inbounds on that three-pointer he threw up from half court with a couple of seconds left. And Andre got poked in the eye.
He did. And again, you know, one of the things you recognize about Detroit, Larry Brown, he'll send a little message here. He's got his team picking up full court, getting right after, just trying to send a little subtle message. We're coming at you defensively right off the bat. And the Nuggets need to attack right back.
The foul's on Hamilton. Miller sets a screen so Nene can get the ball in the block. Here comes the double team. Somebody's got to be open. Which way? They'll stay with Denver. That's the good news, but they have just 6 seconds to operate.
Again, you see what a great job. The Pistons doubled. Nuggets rotated the ball well, but they just closed off that driving lane.
Bo knocks it down.
See if he got that one. Well, that was a pretty shot by Bo Leonard, but Rip Hamilton had a whole hand of jersey on him that time. No call.
Here's Tayshaun Prince, and he goes to the jump hook and scores. 6 points for Prince.
And just too easy defensively. Tayshaun's left hand, you got to take that left away from him, make him go right.
Good screen. Leonard came free. They just didn't have a passing lane. Here's Miller. Nice little hesitation, and Andre left it short, and Ben Wallace has the rebound. 54-43, Detroit leading. Anthony covering Prince, denied that pass in the block. Now Prince has it on the perimeter. Ben Wallace ducks inside with about 0.5 on the shot clock.
And Melo with a little more experience will realize Wallace has one move and one move only. That little jump right hook, take that away. He won't make it.
Nene ends up with it, flushes it.
Good offensive work by Nene and Andre Miller. Andre keeping it alive for Nene to finish off that offensive rebound.
Still an 11-point game. The Nuggets shooting 50%. That's the good news. The bad news is they have 15 turnovers, and the Pistons are shooting 60%. And that's going to be a foul on Carmelo Anthony. A little bit of a hold on Ben Wallace, enough that he couldn't elevate to catch the basketball. 2 fouls on Anthony.
It's a tough call there, but Melo battling Ben Wallace hard in that paint. Then kind of put up 10 in there. He was in there for a long time.
There have been only 9 free throws combined in the game.
Defense by Nene in that possession really got up on Rasheed.
Carmelo looking for Vashawn Leonard. Yeah, he'll drive. A triple team comes, and Rasheed Wallace has the basketball. Denver will take the basketball at 9:11 to go in the third quarter.
You just got a little feeling here that if the Nuggets can just take care of the ball, tighten up their D a little bit, they can get right back in this game. Again, the Pistons played last night. Nuggets almost played a little possum on early going, and looked by Bo, not able to knock that jumper down.
Do you think when we talk about teams playing the night before, is that a psychological thing, a physical thing, or is more being made of it than needs to be as Tayshaun Prince hits?
Well, it is. If you compete energy level to energy level, it can be a difference. Just too easy for Tayshaun, going left hand right across the middle.
Here's a cut by Bo. Phillips got a hand on it, and Vashawn Leonard stays with it. 12 points for Leonard.
Nice look from Andre Miller. Bo got it stripped, but stayed right with it, powered up. Bo having that glare at Officials thinking he should have had a call there.
Eight to shoot it. Wallace being checked by Nene. And Wallace goes right through him and knocks down a jumper. Rasheed Wallace has had an extraordinary game. 15 points on the offensive end, 7 of 9. He's got 3 rebounds, and he's played terrific defense. Also, often being the helper. There he commits a foul on Nene.
He's just so long on the offensive end, but what a pretty play there. Good movement by Melo. Feeds Nene down low, cuts hard to the hoop, draws the defense with him. Nene using his quickness, blowing right by Rasheed and earning 2 from the foul line.
A couple free throws for Nene. He's 1 of 2 from the line, 7 points and 7 rebounds for Nene. Kids, let the Denver Nuggets make your birthday celebration unforgettable for only $25 per person with a 10-person minimum. Each party goer receives a game ticket, a Nuggets mini basketball, and a $10 concession voucher. And the birthday honoree will also receive a Nuggets hat, a birthday message on the scoreboard, and have their picture taken in half court. Call the Nuggets at 405-1212. And Nene splashes both free throws. So it is 60-49. That's been the difference for a while now, 11 points. Seems like it's been the difference for a while.
The Nuggets need to stay at home with Rasheed Wallace.
There's a strip by Nene. See if they can get the running game going here. And Camby finding Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo drives. And Camby couldn't come up with it. Detroit heading the other direction. They have numbers. Open look for Rasheed Wallace. And inside, Ben Wallace.
Well, again, 2 Nuggets don't get back defensively after that turnover. You got to hustle back. Jeff Pizdell going to call timeout. Melo frustrated, no foul call again. He's taking the ball to the hoop quite often tonight. Only 1 free throw to show for it.
62-49. The Pistons up 11 at halftime, are up 13 right now. Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your Rocky Mountain Ford stores. No boundaries. By Safeway. Visit participating Safeway stores to pick up your Read It calendar. And by Cooney Lexus and Stevenson Lexus. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Well, it's official now, Bill. I know you were nervous about this, but they have broken the Guinness Book of World Records for most people wearing wigs, single venue, with 6,213. The old record, 5,574, set a year ago by fans at the Newcastle Knights North Queensland Cowboys rugby match in New South Wales, Australia. Very important news that we are proud to pass along to you. Andre Miller ducks inside and has his second field goal. And it's 62-51.
This little up and under move by Andre, able to split that double team and get inside. And it doesn't happen often on the Pistons.
Shot clock down to 5. Phillips off to Ben Wallace, blocked by Nene. Good job by Nene. He's got a couple of steals and now a blocked shot. Denver get it inside, double digits. I mean, you see, they're amazing, man. They find different places on the floor to trap you. And it's not, I mean, it's an aggressive trap. Sometimes you see players go for the trap and it's easily defeated. It's easily split. Now with Detroit, they are trapping Andre Miller again. Phillips and Hamilton. Andre comes free, and even that shot was contested after he broke the double team. Nice job by Andre Miller.
You see one of the advantages that Andre has as a point guard, his strength, and just latched onto that basketball, then penetrated in, and Wallace came across to block a shot, got a little extra arch on it, and really delivered.
Hamilton with Miller on him, and he is fouled by Andre.
And that's where Rip Hamilton's good. He's not a great three-point shooter. Andre came up, but he had a whole side of the floor to double. And Marcus Camby was coming to try to erase that shot.
Hamilton drafted and playing his first 3 years with the Washington Wizards. He was traded for Jerry Stackhouse. And it's worked out nicely for Detroit. He averaged 19.7 points a game last year.
Well, you fit little pieces of the puzzle work with different players, and with the Pistons being so strong up front, that quickness really plays into a big factor, and he leads the team in scoring. And it's just unbelievably quick off that dribble.
I think there was some concern at 6'7" and 185 pounds, would he be able to take the beating going to the basket that he inevitably would get? And the answer, obviously, at least so far, has been yes. Here's Carmelo, 16-foot pull-up. He strokes it again. He's had that jumper rolling all night. 18 for Anthony on 9 of 17 shooting.
And that was good penetration by Andre. Kicked out, caught Prince coming at him, and Melo's so good at that little step-back jumper. And
8-point affair. Tayshaun Prince will let fly. And the rebound of Ben Wallace. That one hurts. Now the lob. Prince comes down with it, and he'll go outside again.
They just want to match up defensively, get some pressure on the ball. Those lob passes, too easy.
And Camby goes and gets the Billups miss. Chance to get it to 6, maybe 5.
Good job of getting it down low, in deep, with a lot of time on the shot clock. Good things happen when you do that.
Here's Nene in the paint, jump hook, and he got the roll.
Then Wallace playing Nene for that up and under move, and he's showing his versatility, just going with a straight right hand jump hook.
Nene scoring more and more the last couple of weeks. He's averaging 17 a game over his last 5, and that includes the game in Boston where he had to leave in the 3rd quarter. And he had a great ball game going there. 12 points, 10 rebounds. Speaking of Nene, here he is. Will they give him continuation? Why not? He gave him continuation and everything else in this league.
Well, that's an easy call because he didn't put the ball back down. It was not a travel.
That
doesn't make any difference.
Count.
That ball should count if you watch a replay here. But good pressure defense by Nene creates the steal on the swing pass, gets in the lane, and watch when the contact is made. Picks the ball up, contact right there. That's an easy call. It's not even close. Larry Brown up and hollering a little bit, but great play by Nene. Got a chance to cut it to 3. Nuggets battle back in.
I'll tell you what, he has led the way on both ends of the floor. What sprained ankle.
The Nuggets have been able to get some defense going this quarter.
They're on a 10-1 run, Bill. 63-59. 3:50 to go in the 3rd. Here comes Billups. And he stepped out of bounds.
Nuggets are doing exactly what they want to do. Battle back in the game. Keep within striking distance. Pistons bring their 6th man in, Corliss Williamson, and he needs to work him and move him without the basketball to create some opportunities.
I was laughing. You see, Larry Brown was there in the background. One of the Piston broadcasters, Rick Mahorn, speaking of defense and a guy that will knock you around. You visited with Rick earlier tonight. Here's Rick.
Rick would never pass up an opportunity to give you a little chicken wing across the chops.
Except they weren't little chicken wings.
That's more like a turkey bone.
There's AD. And Carmelo will earn a trip to the line. Here's a technical foul on Rasheed Wallace.
Well, now the Nuggets got the Pistons getting out of composure emotionally a little bit.
Or is it on Corliss Williamson? I'm not sure. It is on. The T is on Rasheed Wallace.
Steve Jabby showing why he's a veteran official. Gives it to the other official to get him away from the Pistons players and said, I'll let them bark at me a little bit.
And Carmelo shooting the T.
Carmelo will get 2 more. See him post up hard down here. They called Corliss for a body foul down low. You attack the rim, sooner or later you got to get a call.
Well, Rashid set an NBA record with 41 tees a couple years back in one season. Denver can get it to 1 here with Carmelo at the line. Larry Brown is concerned. Denver was down by 13 a couple of times here in the third quarter.
Led by Nene and Melo.
I mean, Nene's been fantastic. 13 points, 8 rebounds, several steals, block shot. Carmelo's been, well, he's been Carmelo.
Well, really, the whole starting group has done a nice job this quarter. Andre Miller with a couple nice shots in the paint area. Fortunately, during that run, they have missed a couple free throws. Melo needs to knock this one down to cut it to 2.
And he does. 20 in the game for Anthony. He's the leading scorer. And it is a 2-point affair. 63-61. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Miller staying in front of Hamilton. Good defense. Hamilton able to score, but the Nuggets defended him better that time.
Miller tried to be physical with Andre on that situation. And
that was an interesting move. Nene trying to draw the foul on Rasheed Wallace, jumped right into him.
He just tried to do a little too much. Would have rather seen him back him down a little bit.
Here comes Hamilton, and it is denied by Marcus Camby. Put a roof on it. 4 on 3. Open look for 3. Anthony. Out of bounds. Which way? It's going to stay with Denver. But first a timeout. 65-61 Detroit.
Nuggets defense. Help side gets better. Camby with an erase.
The Denver Nuggets are in the stretch run of the season, and the stretch run package is on sale now. 4 great end-of-season games starting at just $60. See the Timberwolves, Sonics, Blazers, and Kings, all for just $60. Visit Nuggets.com or call 303-405-1212. That's 303-405-1212 to reserve your stretch run package. 4 games start at just $60. Your Denver Nuggets, working overtime.
Right now, visit your Chevy dealer and leave your checkbook at home. Introducing no down payment, no first month's payment, nothing due at signing, and no security deposit. Now through March 31st, qualified lessees can leave their checkbooks at home. Lease a Tahoe 4x4 for around $461 a month. Tax, title, license, and dealer fees are extra. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details. Chevy, turn the key, start a revolution. Lease a new Chevy today and leave your checkbook at home.
Coming up next on your Rocky Mountain Sports Report. On the second day, they rested, or should we say, practiced, those that moved on at Pepsi Center. 32 others played in day 2 of the NCAA tourney. How that group becomes 16.
2-1 for the 3!
And Jeremy Bloom's battle against the NCAA. That's tonight's Chevy Fox Focus. Your teams, your town, your Rocky Mountain Sports Report is next.
65-61 Detroit. The Nuggets on a 14-3 run over the last 4 minutes. Carmelo Anthony and Nene leading the way. Nene gets a block shot there. Also comes up with a steal. We talked about the Gatorade X Factor. Somebody had to jump up with Carmelo and have a terrific ball game on the offensive end. And Nene's doing it on both ends of the floor, and that's why we're tight.
Tighten it right up, and I like the substitution pattern here. You've got some things going well, but you can't over milk the starters. You got a whole nother quarter to play, and things are going well. Interject in some of the bench, and they're going.
And Doliak's on the floor. Earl Boykins is on the floor as well. Miller trying to go behind his back, and he was being doubled. That wasn't going to work.
Andre just got to be smarter than that. That's just, even if you make that dribble, you're not going anywhere. Got to get a rotation pass, but again, the Pistons so strong on pick and roll situations. The Nuggets need to slip some of those pick and rolls, try to get their big men showing out too quickly, and you get some backdoor layups.
Miller had it knocked out of his hand twice. Andre throws it up, and Camby has the rebound. Camby will flush it. That was big. 4-point game.
Andre said, what do I got to do to get a foul around here? He's still amazed.
Well, you know what? Both ways. I mean, there are some nights, and you get a feel for how the game's being officiated. They're letting them play because it's not like Detroit has been going to the line an inordinate amount of times. Nuggets have more free throws than Detroit by 5.
Here again, good defense. Camby with a sweet deflection.
Boykins, boy, had a lot of time to look at it, and the air mailed it.
It's Earl. Tough miss there. Wide. You don't get many wide open looks.
Here's Wallace. That is a foul. Camby grabbed his arm, and he'll send the 51% free throw shooter Wallace to the stripe. Ben Wallace.
Earl would love to have that shot open, but again, off of turnovers, that's your best opportunity to run. Camby with a deflection. Nuggets with a steal. Got an easy look down the hoop at the far end.
One of New Jersey's strategies late in the game was to foul Ben Wallace. It backfired. Ben last night hit 5 consecutive free throws, and he's got his first up and in tonight. Rodney White comes in. Carmelo Anthony will get a blow.
One of the things, you make it an interesting point, the Nuggets have a weird statistic they lead the league in, their opponent's free throw percentage, and a lot of that has to do with fast break basketball. You get guys tired out by running, they tend to miss a few more late in the game, and Ben Wallace not tired yet though.
Here's Rodney, 10 to shoot it. Detroit's picked up that defense again. It's down to 4. Miller, tough drive. It's blocked, and it's a shot clock violation. Detroit has caused, by my count, 4 of those tonight.
Well, Andre with a hard drive to the hoop again. Thought he got some contact with a foul, but Hooker and Wallace just erased that shot. Just need to be careful here. Pistons back up to a 6-point lead.
Here's Williamson. He's been effective tonight. Bumping with Rodney White, taken away by Boykins. 3-on-2. Earl driving the ship. He'll pull up from 16. That's his shot. And it's a 4-point game.
Give both great defense right there. Rodney White banging Williamson hard. Got him focused just on Rodney. Earl said, I'll come up from behind and get a strip for 2.
30 seconds to go in the period. Okur with the basketball. Doliak leaning on him. And is that a walk or a foul? It's going to be a foul on Michael Doliak. Let's pick up that steal a moment ago by Earl Boykins.
A good read by Earl Boykins. Corliss Williamson really banging Rodney. Rodney taking away that middle, and Earl knew he was going to spin baseline. Caught him. Now seeing little Earl out there, but what a play.
So Okur at the line. 2nd round pick. Originally by Detroit. He's in his 2nd season in the league out of Turkey. And he will be a restricted free agent at the conclusion of the season. He will draw interest. 7-footer who can shoot it. He bangs. Takes up a lot of space.
He says he wants to be here. Nuggets with last shot opportunity. Interesting to see. They've got Andre Miller at the 2 guard and Rodney White at the 3 right now.
Here comes Doliak. He sets an enormous screen. Earl steps inside, goes glass. Camby tried to go and get it. 2 seconds to get one off. Mike James did not get it out of his hand. The shot goes down. No basket.
The officials will look this over. They have to, but it definitely no basket there. And Earl a little unlucky on that. Tried to go with a bank shot.
Well, the Nuggets picked up the D. They limited Detroit to only 13 shot attempts in the 3rd quarter. They got back in it. It's a 5-point affair heading to the 4th. You're watching Fox Sports Net. Inside the Palace of Auburn Hills, the Nuggets' only visit to Detroit. They've lost 7 consecutive games here with Bill Hanslick. I'm Drew Goodman. The Nuggets win the third quarter 24-18. Thus, it's 70-65 as we're set for quarter number 4. And Boykins pokes it away, but it came to the Pistons. Lindsey Hunter out there in the backcourt with James. There's a steal for Doliak. And the Nuggets had it, and they hand it right back to Detroit. They have turned it over 17 times tonight.
That possibly shouldn't have been a new 24. Doliak tipped that out. Andre never really had control of it.
Well, the Nuggets have more pressure tonight because Utah went to Cleveland and wins by 8. That's offensive interference. That'll be Denver basketball.
That's unfortunate for the Nuggets. Ben Wallace threw that off, and Earl would have had it easy too. But Steve Javie looked like he had the right call there. Ben up high, straight over the rim. That was a good call by Steve Javie. But
Tell you what, that's a big win for Utah against a Cavalier team that had been playing terrific basketball. They led most of the way. Talking about Utah, that was almost a end-to-end win. Good feed. Nene finds Doliak, and now it's a three-point game.
Nice job by Nene. Anytime you're a post player and you can get the ball and take it in the middle of the lane, you're going to draw 2 people on you. Find the open man, and you should get a good look. Now Michael Doliak, who ripped that one home.
Well, you can't leave him. You see a 7-footer out there, and you say, well, he's not going to shoot it. He can shoot the 3, and he does shoot the 3. He's a 34% three-point shooter.
And again, if you're wide open like that, it's just such an easy shot for guys like that. So
here's White pulling up. No go. Easy rebound for Lindsey Hunter underneath.
Andy with a decent look, but again, play the game inside out.
Loose basketball. And Detroit comes out of the pack with it. They're up 73-67, a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Hunter slapped by Earl Boykins.
Earl doing a nice job, and so often as a defender, you get a little feel for somebody's game. Earl thinks he's got Lindsey Hunter zoned in, and he's all over him, and it's the kind of pressure D you have to create some opportunities.
And Williamson traveled, so Denver will take the basketball. Well, the turnover's starting to mount for Detroit. That's one of the ways that the Nuggets have gotten back into it. The Nugget defense has picked up 14 turnovers on Detroit. 22 assists tonight for the Pistons. That's a bunch, but again, most in the first half.
Nuggets have really played defense the way they need to. More pressure on the ball, and they've created some opportunities where Detroit hasn't been able to just look them down.
Rodney gave the Nuggets a lift in Boston off the bench. 13 points in the second half. 3 to shoot it. Rodney's got to go up with it. He's got to go up with it. He gets it off. And it's tapped outside and into the hands of Mike James.
Nene a little late on getting that pass out to Rodney. Had Ben Wallace on him. Not enough time to make something happen.
Corliss Williamson in really deep. And he is fouled by Rodney White. Williamson did his work early and got great position. Kids, if you participate in the Safeway Read It program, you could meet Ryan Bowen or Adam Foote. Visit your local participating Safeway store and pick up your Read It calendar today. Free throws coming for Williamson. He won a national championship at Arkansas. How's your bracket look so far?
Perfect. I have everything correct.
I know better. By the way, Bill, you can't have everything correct because you had Murray State going to the Final Four, and Murray State lost today.
No, I missed one.
I'll take a look at your bracket after. It's probably got eraser marks everywhere. How the Golden Domers doing in the NCAA? Oh, that's right. They're in the NIT. Forgive me. How they doing in the NIT?
Does this take shots at me? They are winning in the NIT. Unfortunately, there's some other teams in the NCAA that shouldn't have been there and are already out. And Ithaca College is nowhere to be found. Do they even play basketball there?
No, being the prestigious academic institution that we are, we compete at the Division III level. That goes out of bounds. And Detroit gets it right back, and the Nuggets are going to get Carmelo Anthony into the game.
Now again, you just see the toughness of Detroit. Melo in right. We're still getting a little rest, but the toughness of Detroit, little situations like that, Nuggets have to come up with those missed free throw opportunities. And Melo kind of got knocked to the floor, no call, but
here's James. He drives, no good. Actually, the Nuggets are going to wait to get Anthony back in the game. Here's Boykins on a drive. And Earl turns it right back over. Oh, look at that move. And Okur will lay it in.
Again, Detroit will let you make mistakes, and then they will capitalize on them. Earl got caught in the air.
They've jumped
caught
the lead.
in the air, that's trouble.
Yep, they've jumped the lead back to 9. And they've done it with Rasheed Wallace on the bench. Lindsey Hunter fakes the pass, then gives it up. Okur's got 10. Denver Nuggets basketball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by your Rocky Mountain Ford stores. No boundaries. Sorry, Darko, we should have got Carmelo. I think that sentiment in Detroit is somewhat widespread. But sorry, Detroit, we've got Carmelo, and we're plenty happy about it, as I speak for all the folks in Denver. Nuggets have allowed Detroit to go on a little run. There's plenty of time left. A little less than 9 minutes, but the Nuggets are down 9. And Anthony's back out there. Nene, Leonard, Miller, and Camby.
Again, some of the things that hurt the Nuggets in that first half, turnovers, creeped in the Pistons in this fourth quarter.
And there's the defense. Williamson, speaking of turnovers, Okur at the other end, reverse layups off, but he was fouled. You know what, I tell you, he moves pretty well for a guy who's 7 foot 250.
He really does, and gets out, and he's a scorer. Gets out on the break, but starts on the defensive end. Marcus with a pass to Melo. Melo not able to ward off Williamson, and turnover leads to an opportunity basket. Like a little bit of a touch foul there. I'm not sure if Marcus got him on the arm or the body, but didn't seem to be a lot of contact in a game where they're not calling a lot of contact.
That's 4 fouls on Camby. Okur averages just under 10 a game, and loose ball foul, which way? It's going to go on Nene.
In those situations are so vital. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot let, that's a guard getting there a rebound. Block off, knock them back. You take a rebound for granted, before you know it, the other team's got it.
That was Lindsey Hunter who snuck in there. They have been thrilled with the defense that Lindsey Hunter has provided them.
Lindsey earlier in his career pretty much noted more of a street shooter scorer, but he really does play defense.
There's Rasheed Wallace. Takes maybe the first bad shot he's taken tonight. Here comes Andre Miller with the Nuggets down 10. They got it down to 2 late in the third.
You see how good the Pistons are. Now the Nuggets have to reset again. Lots of grabbing, lots of holding, lots of reaching for balls, and they're just tough.
That's how they won 2 championships in '89 and '90. The bad boy era. They beat you up and they defend it. Andre is fouled.
Now, one too often of being aggressive defensively. Lindsey tapped Andre on the wrist, but nice job by Andre of taking it right in the middle.
That's how good they've defended, Bill. In their last 10 games, Detroit has allowed the opposition to shoot above 40% only 3 times.
And one stat that I kind of picked up on it, 9 times this year, they lead the league by wide margin. 9 times they've held teams under 70. And since Rasheed Wallace has been a Piston, 5 times. So
You know, it's amazing. They did it 5 times in a row, and nearly did it against Jersey last night. The league record had been 2 in a row prior to that since the advent of the shot clock.
Nuggets are get ahead of 70 now.
And that's on Carmelo Anthony. That's 3 on Carmelo.
More importantly, the Pistons in the bonus situation. Melo hollering at the official saying, let's get one both ends of the court. Williamson showing why he's a veteran. Just a little rip move with his arm and locks up Melo's arm and draws the contact and foul.
He's got 10 points. Slightly better than his average this year. He's 3rd in the league in scoring off the bench. 3rd of players who have not started once this year. Rodney White is 5th in the league of players who have not started at least one game this year. And the lead goes to 11, 79-68. Camby looking to attack. Nene kicks it back outside.
It's had a good opportunity there, not able to take advantage of it.
Here's Nene, and it's blocked by Okur. Still tied. There's 6 on the shot clock. Here's Leonard, and they're going to call it travel.
Deshaun Leonard yelling that he hit the ball. Bo went up, did not take the shot. Let's see if Chauncey touches it. Oh, he did hit it on the way down, slapped it with his right hand. But again, if you're aggressive defensively, good things happen. Nuggets have to play some aggressive defense of their own, get physical in there.
Nuggets have to make a stand right now. Billups throws one up. It rolls out, fortunately. Here's Miller with Rasheed Wallace back. Wallace against Anthony. Carmelo gets the shot off, but Okur pulls down the rebound.
Melo needs to move that ball a little bit. A decent look, but.
And Rasheed Wallace with 17 points, and it's 81-68. 13-point lead matches the largest Detroit has held tonight. The Nuggets just 1 of 6 in the 4th.
Lindsey Hunter yelling, send him this way.
Well, Carmelo going one-on-one right now. That shot's way off. Here's a 3-on-1.
Well, that really hurt. 2 bad shots in a row. One dribble up and
83-68. Detroit by 15. In front of more than 22,000 at the Palace. Pistons leading the Nuggets 83-68. Coming up after the game, of course, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. And Detroit's Sandy Williams will be in our Denver studio rooting hard for the Nuggets. Sandy?
Absolutely, Drew. Tonight on the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, we have a lot in store. Paul Pierce calls Carmelo Anthony the truth. Also, check your brackets. There were some upsets. And finally, tonight, Chevy Fox Focus will be on Jeremy Bloom. But for now, let's get it back to Motown, where Drew and Bill are standing by. And Drew, I apologize. Cannot believe my mother did not call you back for dinner.
And you know what? Your mom's a beautiful lady, and we met, and I thought we were close.
I know.
She must have been out of town, Sandy.
She probably didn't want to cook knowing her.
Let's check, Sandy, our Vovo game summary. This one's gotten away from Denver in the last few minutes. Detroit on a 13-3 run. The Pistons 23 points off of 21 Denver turnovers. And Carmelo Anthony leads Denver with 20. Crowd is giving a standing ovation to the newest Piston, Rasheed Wallace, because with his last bucket, he just went over 10,000 points in his career. In his 9th year out of North Carolina.
Watch how physical the Pistons play. That time, Chauncey Billups just running right through Nene. Nene with a nice screen for Bo Leonard. Got one to give. Andy White in for Melo.
The Nuggets need to make a furious run right now. If they don't give you a thing, I mean, even right there, and they had it poked away, 5 on the shot clock.
And the Nuggets have struggled with these situations. They've got to recognize only 5. Get that shot up.
Miller elevates, and he drops one through. Nice looking shot for Andre Miller.
The Nuggets still hanging around. Defensively, just crank it back up.
Williamson trying to bull his way in. Okur makes a nice cut, and then the foul. Take your pick, Camby or White. They'll give it to White.
Good foul by Rodney. You don't want to give up a layup, but you have to close off. If you go for a double team, the weak side's got to close off the middle. Leave open the non-shooter, and that would have been Lindsey Hunter.
Nothing but net. John Elway Auto Nation Internet. Visit elwaydealers.com for over 7,000 new and used vehicles. See elwaydealers.com today. And Okur gets them both. He's been a factor in this game, Bill. 15 points off the Detroit bench. Right now, Carmelo's a spectator.
11 in the second half, and that really hurts.
Vogt pulls up. And it's going to be a loose ball foul on Denver. It's on the net. The Nuggets trying to be aggressive, trying to find a way to fight, fight, scratch, and claw their way back into the ball game. They're down 85-70, however. And the Nuggets have been over the limit since very early in this fourth quarter.
On the Nate pointing at Ben Wallace, and well, they're gonna say, that's kind of interesting. How do you get Chauncey Billups on the line?
Well, you know what? This is wild. Violet Palmer, Anthony Jordan, and Steve Javi all pointed at a different Piston as to who should be shooting.
And then they said, hey, it's Ben Wallace that should be on the line.
Well, you know, Nene's no dummy. He knows who the poorest free throw shooter of the bunch is. Instead, it will be Rasheed Wallace, who's considerably better from the line than Ben. Ben at 51+%, Rasheed at 74%.
See if we can see what happens on this rebound coming off right here.
You know what?
It might have been Chauncey. No, it definitely wasn't Ben.
No, it definitely wasn't Ben. It was Rasheed or Chauncey.
Yeah, it looked like Chauncey was in there, but it was like a phantom call, too.
Well, you've been killing him tonight. You're not dining with any officials this evening, are you?
No, I'm not.
Rodney misses. Camby swoops in, and he couldn't quite save it. Good hustle from Marcus. And it goes over to Detroit with 4:57 to play. This one is slipping away big time. 86-70. The Nuggets will have tomorrow off, and then they'll play Sunday afternoon in Minneapolis at Target Center. The Pistons are 55%. When they have shot at above 50% in a game this year, they have not lost. 9-0.
Nuggets put up a good effort in the third quarter, but unfortunately, defense has just been the weak point tonight.
Nuggets move it. They get an open look. Rodney couldn't get it. Rasheed Wallace blocks Camby's shot. That was close to goaltending. Here's Billups to Hamilton.
Well, I know I'm not going to have dinner tonight. That was not close. That was goaltending. That ball right next to the rim. No call.
And now the Pistons enjoying themselves. They will improve to 45-25. They clinched a playoff spot last night. And I got to tell you something, for the first time in a while, Bill, this Eastern Conference has at least 2, maybe 3 teams that will have an opportunity to beat a Western Conference team in the finals. And the Pistons are one of the group of 3, along with Indiana and New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right. And the Pistons are going to make some subs here to a rousing applause. And there's a Darko sighting.
90-70. Detroit by 20. Well, it was a fairly close game most of the way, but Detroit has outscored the Nuggets 20-5 in the fourth quarter, somewhat reminiscent of the first time they met 2 weeks ago, and it was a 40-5 run in the second and third quarter. Coors Light League leaders, check this out, since February 1, so going on 2 months, the leading scorers in the NBA, Tracy McGrady, then Carmelo Anthony, ahead of Kobe Bryant, ahead of Kevin Garnett, who the Nuggets will see on Sunday. Tonight, Carmelo with 20 on 9 of 20 shooting, but just 4 in the second half. Carmelo 1 of 6 from the floor after intermission. But Nuggets turned it over too many times to beat a quality team on the road tonight, Bill.
They really did, and the Nuggets made a nice run to get it within 2. And Detroit just plays a consistent, persistent defense that when you make mistakes, they make you pay.
John Barry getting a nice round of applause from the crowd. Played here the last couple of years. They just announced him, and there's Darko. And they'll go nuts again. They're getting everything they bargained for. Detroit win and a Darko sighting.
You know, this great execution. Just throw it right where you want and just get that little 4-foot shot.
Skeeta's out there, and there's Darko with a steal. And it makes a nice feed to James, to Darvin Ham, the one-time Nugget who can still rise. Now, you hate to see this. One team having a whole lot of fun at the Nuggets' expense. Giashvili goes up.
Yeah. When it goes bad, it goes bad. Nuggets only 5 points this quarter. Skeeta with an open look.
You know,
banked it on the wrong side of the hoop.
Well, the Nuggets were on pace to score about 90 points tonight, which against Detroit is going to make you very, very competitive. And now you look, and with less than 2.5 minutes to go, they're on 73 after John Barry cans the triple.
And John Barry getting a huge round of applause from the Detroit crowd. I think even the Detroit crowd wanted him to make that shot.
They did once they looked up at the scoreboard and saw the Pistons were up by 24 before the shot. Hunter off to Darko.
Darko, a little rotation on that shot, little high screen roll or wing pick and roll. And
he set a season high with 4 rebounds in Denver a couple of weeks ago. He matched his season high. And if you watch him move and you watch his release, you could see why so many scouts were enamored with him. James had to throw up the 3 with the shot clock winding down. Here's John Barry at the other end. Coming up after the game, of course, the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. I'll get you caught up on the regional in Denver, among other things. Here's Earl for 3. Now Francisco Elson.
Nice hustle by John Barry, picking up that rebound, finding Francisco. There's a little open jump shot.
Well, the drough's going to continue in Motown for Denver. They've not won here since 1995. And over the last 6 ball games, they were averaging just 67 points. So their per game average against Detroit's not going to go up considerably either. And it's, I guess, a bit ironic that the Nuggets and Pistons set an NBA record for most points in a game, 186-184, many moons ago. You even scored in that game, didn't you, Bill?
I did. No field goals, but I did have free throws. Kiki needed to pass me the ball a little more in that game.
Well, Detroit relinquishes about a third of that amount. And the Nuggets unable to convert there. And we have 20 seconds to go. 94-75. Detroit will not shoot it again. Mike James will dribble it out. Larry Brown, you see him pointing at Darko Milicic and saying, nice job. Well, the Pistons are on a roll. They've won 7 consecutive games. The Nuggets 0 for their first 2 on this 3-game road trip. And things tightening up in the Western Conference because Utah won at Cleveland tonight. Portland was idle. But Utah won by 9. It's now just a half game separating the Nuggets from the Utah Jazz. Again, the final here at the Palace of Auburn Hills, 94-75. Detroit will come back in a moment. Right now, Sandy Williams, Mark Sawyer.